Hello everyone, Amanda here. Thanks for joining me. I'm doing my art therapy page today instead of on Wednesday because I had something else to load on Wednesday. So I'm adding some distress resist spray. It's new for me, I've had it gifted. I'm spraying it through a Tim Holtz stencil and we're going to see what happens. This page has been gessoed as well, so I have painted it with gesso. And I've got a collection of distress inks there, a set of 4. I figured if they're sold in that set with them colours together, then them colours will go together. So if you're not sure, just have a look at collections online, things like that. So basically, got pink, an aqua blue, an orange and a yellow. Alright, so if you don't have similar, find them in watercolours, use crayons, whatever, just see what you've got. So I decided I'm going to try and do a watercolour wash with them. Wet the page and then added them. Decided that it was absolute pants, to be honest. Just not enough colour, couldn't see the distress resist. So what you're gonna see me doing is just building up those layers. And the distress inks are quite pale. And when they react with water, they do, obviously they're designed to go more subtle. I would have been better with my oxide sprays, but I didn't have all of them in these colours, so I'm using what I've got and building up the layers gradually. Using my heat tool in between until I get the colour that I like. I ended up putting the pad straight to the paper, and I found that was actually just the easiest way of doing it. Then spray the water on. Okay, so if you've not used them before, that is a very easy technique you can do. Doesn't do the pads any harm. At the end of the day, it's art supplies. You're meant to get messy with them and have fun. They don't need to stay in pristine condition. Just play and experiment, and that's what I'm doing with this art journal. I'm experimenting each page. I'm trying different techniques that I've seen, different products that I've got in my collection, and just playing with them until the page looks how I want it to look. It's not going to happen in the first 10 seconds, and that's one of the things you have to get past when you're doing art journals. You have to get past the idea that these things look fantastic immediately, because it's one of those where you build and you think, okay, that's not the colour I want, I'll add a bit more, and you keep going and you keep going. It doesn't look perfect straight away, it can take time, and that's the therapeutic part, because you're keeping building up layers. It's fantastic. And so I do keep building the layers until I'm happy with the depth of colour and how they've kind of like merged together. I don't want them to look with harsh edges and like they're not joined together. So you do eventually get the look that I'm liking, and the colours are quite strong. The ring light that I use does bleach colours out. I'm going to be sharing pictures on my Instagram, and obviously you'll see it on the thumbnail, and that does the colours more justice. This stamp here, I'm crossing my fingers that it works, and it did. It's a freebie that I got from a magazine. Beautiful. It's really, really lovely, and I've just used archival ink, and I like it because it's a large butterfly. So that stamp then has filled my page, because one of the anxieties is that you don't know what to put on the page and you don't know how to fill it. So if you use a big stamp, that's most of the work done for you. Once you've done your background, that's most of the work done. So I do like to have script or music or something in the background. So I'm stamping second generation here. It's wonky, but do you know what? I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for me, for fun. And that's what art journaling is about. It's not about being the best. It's about having fun and, learning what colours look nice together, what techniques work, and most importantly, which ones don't. So that's why, have a good play. So I now know that distress inks are no good to do if you're wanting a bright background. Don't add too much water to them. So the distress oxides I do love, but I find them quite hard to control. But I do love the vibrant colours. They are the best. While I'm still learning, I'm a little bit shy with them, but I've used that there to splatter on the background, and that is peacock feathers. It is my favourite Tim Holtz colour. I love it, absolutely love it. So I've just splattered that on, being brave with the colour there, but not over brave where it's going to ruin the page. And there's nothing wrong with being a little bit tentative until you get used to, you know, what you're doing. And then I've stamped a large sentiment. I could have done with stamping it straight to start with, then I wouldn't have had to cut it down so much. But you live and learn, that's another thing. But it doesn't matter. Nothing matters with art journaling. That's the whole point of it. It's about freeing your mind and just creating for the fun. I'm not creating this for anybody except for myself. And hopefully maybe to inspire some of the ladies and gents on my Facebook group, Create with Scrimpingmommy. There'll be a link in the description box below. You can come on over and join. As I say, I normally do this video on a Wednesday, but I had to release a different kind of video this week. So I'm adding my sentiments with fabric, you know, Beacon, which is a solvent-based glue, on purpose so that I'm not using a glue that's going to react with that background, you know, and bring out those colours, because I want them to stay as they are now. Okay, and then I just think that the page was still not quite popping for me, so it needed a little bit more work. I'm adding some clips because the pages do warp when you're adding a lot of water. So I've got my Posca paint pen here, and I'm just adding white centres to each of the flowers. I beg your pardon. It just lifts them from the page a right little bit. It's a subtle thing, but it does make a difference. Then I'm drying it so I don't smudge it with my arm, and I decide I'm going to go into the butterflies and the flowers with some watercolour pencils. You can get some nice vibrant looks with basic watercolour pencils, and they're fabulous, and I like it because you can control exactly where you want that colour. That's exactly what you know, and then if you use a baby wipe like I have here to activate the watercolour instead of more water, then again you've got more control and you're not re-soaking the page. So that's why I've used a baby wipe. It just brings out the colour of the watercolours and makes it more vibrant and just blends them together ever so slightly, and you have got 100% control. So yeah, I think that looks rather nice. I'm quite happy. I've just added a little bit of water to the flowers there, just to make that pink watercolour pencil a little bit more vibrant. And I think that just that little extra colour on the page just lifts those butterflies from being just a plain stamped image to a coloured image, although I did, you know, still love the defined black outline there. I'm outlining my sentiments with a little black thin fine liner. I just like doing it. I don't know why I do it. I don't even always think it looks brilliant, but I just like doing it. For some reason, I think it makes it stand out from the page. That's why I do it. And I've decided that I'm just doing a wiggly border, and I was a little bit, oh, why have I done that? Because when I did the first one, it looked really a little bit rubbish. But then, as you see, I'll go over it again, going in the kind of like opposite wavy direction. So you've got a dual wavy line, and it actually looks really cool. And how easy is that? Just drawing it with a pen. You can't get any easier. It's lovely, and I'm really pleased with how that turned out. I'm really enjoying this journey that I'm having with my art therapy journal. So I hope you like that. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.